Number one, we are obviously learning a new reason today, but before we do that, we are going to practice the reason that we learned on Monday. So just to refresh those brains, because you've had, what, 2 full days of school and no Watobe, and I know that often we're doing different things at school. The reason that we had a look at on Monday was the fact that our 3 interior angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if I add the 3 inside angles, I get 180. And remember, guys, this is geometry, so you have to give a reason. Our reason is sum of angles in a triangle. Okay, so that was what we learned on Monday. Add the 3 angles up inside your triangle. So if we have a look at the diagram I've given you here, if we take angle A plus angle B plus angle C, we will get 180 degrees. So that was our first triangle reason that we learned. So what I want from you guys is to try these 4 examples that I've got here on the board. I'm just going to do that, just that we can see all of them. You guys should have the reason somewhere, mostly because we did it on Monday. So I want you guys to give these 4 a try. I'm just going to move that over a touch. In the chat, I want to see your answers as well as the reasons. So remember, number 1, answer reason, 2, answer reason. Make sure you're numbering your answers, please, so that we know what's what. I'm going to go and check that everything's fine, but I will be back in 2 seconds.
That's okay. Okay, my people, let's try that. Let's continue and trying. Remember, you've done this before, so label them. So first do them on your book and then try and put them on the charts. Okay, so we need to see number 1 is this and give your reason. Number 2 is this and then give your reason. Remember, it's statements and then a reason. Okay. If you give me answers without reasons, it means that you are going to lose mark. Depending on your teacher, you might not even get a mark at all, because reasons in geometry is very important. Okay. So we need answers like, you know, whatever, X is this, and then you give your reason. Okay, my people. You might want to show your workout, or you might want to just give an answer. It doesn't matter. As long as you've written it in your book, like this, when we do corrections, you will know exactly what's going on. Okay? And label them, please, so we can see. I see that number 1, it's already, most of you are trying to get there to finish up number 1. And then we can see if we can do number 2. Okay. But you still have a little bit of time. Is everything fine, Teacher Sam? Sorry.
It is. No, it's okay. I don't know what it was, but we're all good.
Okay. Okay. Do remember to give your reason, okay? So it's not good enough to just only give your X value, but you must provide a reason, a statement, a reason for your statements. Okay, Teacher Sam, you can take over. Sorry.
No. Yeah, guys, exactly what Yolanda said. Statement and reason. No reason, no marks. Always remember that. Okay, so I'm just scrolling through the chat. It looks like we're about halfway. So I'm going to give you let's say another 2 minutes. And then we'll go from there. So guys, remember your reason. Like Yolanda was saying, like your reason is the whole like point of why you're doing what you're doing. If you aren't giving a reason, you're just making stuff up. Obviously, we know what you're not. We know that you've applied the reason, but you need to almost think of geometry when you're writing a geometry test or geometry exam. You almost need to think of it as your marker knows nothing about geometry. So that's what I always like say to my kids, like pretend I don't know anything about geometry. Because if you do that, then hopefully you are explaining everything in detail, and it makes it much clearer why you're doing what you're doing. So we should definitely all be done with question 1 and 2. Those are the nice easy ones. 3 and 4 is a little bit of a challenge. So we should be on those 2 now, giving those 2 a go.
Let's go. Let's go. I see that number 3 were already, some of you have already getting number 3. Let's see if we can get to 4.
I was just going to say, I see we're getting there.
Yeah.
1 more minute, guys, 60 seconds. You got this. Otherwise, I'm going through it. Remember, we have done all of this we did all of this rather on Monday. So if you're not feeling super sure about what's going on here, you need to go and watch Monday's video. You need to go and revise it. And some of you obviously have already done this in school, which is cool. But you do need to know this stuff. So if you're not feeling super sure, please go and watch the video.
Oh, I love how Liachile has given us answers on the chat. It's awesome.
That's how we like
1, 2,
it.
3, 4. Exactly.
Answer reason. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it is done. Done and dusted.
All right, guys, let's do this. Remember, we always need to have our statement and our reason. And I've told you that when you set up your answer, it's quite helpful to have statement, reason, split your page up in half, so that it would help if I had the right side of the pen, hey? So that you're never forgetting to give both statement and reason. Okay, it's a really, really silly reason. Oh, golly, Miss Molly. Really silly to lose a mark because you've forgotten something that you know you should have. Near technology today. It's just, we're fighting. We don't like each other, apparently. Okay, so question 1, nice and easy, like I say. All we do is we add up all of those angles because we know that x plus 75 plus 55 must give me 180. I don't know why I made the choice to try and squish everything here. I'm going to remake that choice. Clearly my choices today are a bit dubious. All right. So we're just going to shove those 2 over because, you know, you can do that on a computer. Okay, there we go. More space makes sense. So guys, like I say, nice and easy, this one. We're just adding up our angles. We know that all 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. That's all we need to do here. X plus 75 plus 55 must give us 180 degrees. Remember, again, reason, sum of angles in triangle. We spoke about this on Monday. If you use interior angles of a triangle or sum of interior angles, that's all fine. As long as your reason has come from me or from a teacher, you can use what you've been told. I'm going to add 75 and 55 because they're like terms. So that gives me x plus 130 is equal to 180. And so that means x is equal to 50 degrees in the first question. When we get to question 2, basically exactly the same thing. We've got 2 of our 3 interior angles. We're going to add them all together so that we can solve for x. X plus 18 degrees plus 25 degrees must give us 180 degrees. Same reason, sum of angles in a triangle. And then we go and solve. Now again, 18 and 25 are like terms. So I'm going to add them together in order to give me 43 degrees. And then using inverse operations, I'm going to subtract 43 on both sides. And that is equal to 137 degrees. So question 2, hopefully straightforward, 137. Canva, yeah, sum of angles in a triangle is, or sum of, try to say sum of angles of triangle, just because sum of angle, sum of what of the angle, the sides, the angles, just be a little bit more specific there. I will come back and make this a touch smaller so you can screenshot everything, but let's have a look at 3 and 4 because these were definitely the slightly harder ones, which you still need to be able to deal with. So again, statement, reason, nothing changes. You will do this, or you will set up your answer like this for the rest of your mathematical career, as long as that continues. The same reasoning applies here, guys. We know that x plus 70 plus x plus 10 must give us 180 degrees. Again, our reason is sum of angles in triangle. Now, guys, this is, I don't want to say this is why it's complicated, but we need to be careful here. The like terms that we have are not only the constants, but also the x's. So x plus x is 2x, 70 plus 10 is 80, and now I start to solve my equation. So subtract 80 on both sides, I get 2x is equal to 100. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 in order to get x alone, and so x is equal to 50 degrees. Now remember, grade 8, you can check yourself if you're not 100% sure. Sub in the angle you've just worked out, so 50 plus 10 is 60. X we worked out to be 50. If you now add 50, 60, and 70, do you get 180? Well, let's check. 50 plus 60 is 110, plus 70 is 180. So the reason of sum of angles in a triangle is actually true based on what we've done. For question 4, the thing you needed to remember here was that anytime we see that little square in any sort of shape or on any sort of geometric diagram, whether it's between 2 lines or, like I say, in a shape in a triangle, what we're working with is a 90-degree angle or a right angle. So I've said this to you before, we don't have to write 90 degrees. We just will expect you to know that that square means 90. And so now we can do our working out. 3x plus 90 plus 2x plus 10 must give us 180 degrees, all because of sum of angles in triangle. Once I know that, I can go and work it out. Again, be careful of what your like terms are. We've got 3x plus 2x and 90 plus 10. 3x plus 2x is 5x. 90 plus 10 is 100, is equal to 180 degrees. I'm going to subtract 100 on both sides. So 5x is equal to 80. And I'm pretty sure this is 16, but I'm just going to double check. Yep. And so divide both sides by 5 in order to get x alone. X is equal to 16 degrees. Now, again, you can go and check yourself. Substitute it back into the diagram. Make sure that when you add all your angles together, you are getting 180. So if we quickly just do that, 3 times 16 is 48. So we've got a 48-degree angle down there. 2 times 16 is 32. So we've got 32 plus 10, which gives us 42. 42 plus 48 gives us 90, plus 90 gives us 90. So we do have, or the sum of angles in a triangle does actually stand and is correct. And so we've correctly worked out X. All right, so guys, these are examples of what we have done already. You should know this, excuse me. If you don't, or if you're feeling unsure about any of this, you need to go and watch the video from Monday, because this is where we did this reason. What I am going to do is I'm just going to make that a touch smaller like that, so you can screenshot everything. And then we're going to have a look at our new geometric reason. Right, so I'm going to say if you've got questions, you can raise your hand. But again, guys, we have done this. So please take it upon yourselves to go and revise and recap what you need to. Zandile? Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Bro. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how? Yes. Bro. So for number 3 and 4, aren't we supposed to show that we minus 80 or something?
So you can, but honestly, at this point, you don't need to. You are welcome to,
Yes,
though.
bro.
Zandile, can you hear me? Okay, Zandile, I'm going to answer on the chat because there seems to be a bit of a disconnect
Yes,
here.
I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, we seem to not be connecting. I'll answer on the chat though. Okay, guys, just for everyone's sake, whilst I type this, you can show your subtraction. You don't have to. Okay, so when doing, excuse me, when doing your inverse operations, you don't have to like specifically show minus 80 divided by 2 divided by 2. You are welcome to, but you don't have to. As long as then in your next step, you have shown that you've now gotten to 100 and you've simplified, that's fine. Okay, right. If you are more comfortable showing the subtraction and showing step by step your inverse operations to solve the equation, rather do that. There is no point in stressing out about not showing what you feel more comfortable with showing. Rather just do it. Okay. Oh, golly. So guys, what we're going to learn today is our next triangle reason, which deals with, again, angles in a triangle. But it's now going to deal with exterior angles of a triangle. Okay, before I move on. Okay, so Vio's asked, do we only get marks for the answer and then your reason? Vio, it depends on how complex the question is. So for example, something like question 4, you would definitely get more marks than just answer and reason. So for example, question 4, I would allocate marks as follows. So I would allocate a mark for you setting up this equation and knowing that they're all adding together to equal to 180. I would give you a mark for your reason, obviously. Depending on how many marks we have to play with, we might even give you a mark for simplifying to 5x equals 80, and then we will give you a mark for your answer. So it depends how complicated or how complex the question is. For example, something like question 1, I would maybe give you a mark for your reason, a mark for your statement, a mark for your answer. That's it. So you're generally looking at between 2 to 4, 5 marks for a question. Again, obviously, as the complexity increases, you get more marks. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So, oh golly, so much space. So guys, we will take a brain break in a second or two, but I want to just chat about our next reason that we're going to learn, which is exterior angles of a triangle. So I think we don't always like this one as much because the words to describe this reason is a lot. And so sometimes we struggle to actually understand what it is we're looking for. So exterior angle basically means that when we've got an angle outside of our triangle, that's what exterior means, that angle is equal to the sum of the two interior opposite angles. So this is why I'm saying it's a lot of words. Essentially, what that means is as follows rather. Angle A here is our exterior angle. We know it's our exterior angle because it is an angle created between one side of my triangle and an extension of another side. So that's really important. If we had a diagram that looked something like this, yes, this angle here is outside or exterior to my triangle, but it is not an exterior angle of my triangle. The reason for that is because this line over here is not an extension of a side. If we had drawn our line and extended this third side of my triangle, then that whole angle would be an exterior angle. But we cannot just have an exterior angle of a triangle when we've got a random jutting out line that isn't an extension of one of our sides. So we've got our exterior angle. What this reason says to me is that this exterior angle size will be found by adding together the two opposite interior angles. So if I want angle A, which is my exterior angle, I need to add together the two opposite interior angles and I will get angle A's size. That's what exterior angle says to me. Obviously it's geometry, so we have to give a reason. Our reason is just exterior angle of a triangle. Okay, so we're going to practice one together just so that we can see what's going on. You'll do, I don't know what time we are at. Maybe one by yourself, we'll take a little break and then we'll carry on having a look. So if we look at this first example down at the bottom here, nice and easy, straightforward, nothing too stressful, hopefully. We have our triangle. We're going to obviously solve for x, but let's just have a look and see what x is, where x is, how does x fit in. So x is created between one side of my triangle and the extension of another side of my triangle. It's outside my triangle, which means this is an exterior angle. Now that's really important for me to know because automatically I can now go say, okay, cool. That means if I want the size of x, I need to add together the two angles opposite it inside my triangle, and I have x. So this is actually not a hard reason. It's just getting our minds around finding in the picture what it is we need to see. So our statement here is going to be the fact that x is equal to 35 plus 20. And remember, we always give a reason. Our reason is now exterior angle of triangle. 35 plus 20 is 55 degrees. And so there we have it. Now, guys, this is certainly not the only way to go and do this question. I'm also going to show you the slightly longer way just to prove to you that it is actually 55 degrees. So another way that you could have done this, I wouldn't stress about writing this down if you don't want to. But another way we could have done it is we could have gone and found, let's call this angle Y, using angles in a triangle. So angle Y plus 35 plus 25 almost equal to 180 because of our sum of angles in triangle. I am just going to shorten my step here, guys, just to save some space. But if I now say 180 minus 35 minus 125, I get that Y is equal to some value that my brain has just decided it doesn't want to do right now. So let's get a calculator. There we go, 125. So Y is equal to 125. Once I have that value, I could now go and find X by using angles on a straight line. So X plus 125 must equal 180 because of angles on a straight line. Again, using my inverse operations and saying 180 minus 125, I get that X is equal to 55 degrees. What I want you to notice is the fact that in both cases, you got 55 degrees, right? So I'm proving to you that we can just add together the two opposite angles. I'm showing you a longer way that you could have answered this question. But guys, don't do the longer way. We have a shortcut, i.e. use exterior angles of a triangle. So there is no reason to try and use multiple steps and create more work for ourselves. It's fine, you will get the marks. But what we can see through this is that there is no need to do that. Just use exterior angles of a triangle. You get exactly the same answer. All right, so I'm going to stop here. If anyone has any questions they want to ask before we take a little break, now's the time to ask me. You are going to try some examples by yourself, but I think I've spoken a lot already. So any questions, you can raise your hand. Take your screenshot of this. Otherwise, we're going to take a little break before we continue on this exterior angle journey that we are on. No questions, guys? Remember, you can always put questions on the chat and we will help you. Alrighty. Okay, so brain break for the day, joke for the day, everything for the day. You guys know the drill. For our brain break, we want the value of the last equation here. The only thing I am going to say, guys, is if you're not too sure what those stars mean, they mean multiply. So I'm actually just going to draw over them. So these stars, blue, these, oh, goodness gracious me. The stars mean times. That's what I'm trying to get to. Apparently, it's taking me an excessively long time to get my pen to work. There we go. So in terms of your operations, you are multiplying them. So I want that last value, please. Teto. Let's see what we get. There was someone who's struggling with hearing. Not like to hear anymore, so hopefully they figured it out. Okay, so let's see. I know the answer. I'm going to send Yolanda the answer as well, though Yolanda also probably knows it, to be fair. And we're waiting for the first one. My kids the other day, so I wear my hair like this a lot. Right? It's who I am as a person. And my kids the other day told me that I look like the monkey from Madagascar. Now,
Why?
yeah. Well, that was also my thing, right? Why tell someone this piece of information? Just let me be. Just let me be with my little
Like,
top
why?
hat thing. Or
What the
maybe it's
hell
not a
does
monkey,
that
maybe it's a
come
lemur.
Oh, Ratile, well done. You can raise. I'm still shocked at your students for some reason.
Nice. Yeah, I was told I look like the monkey. I mean, the lemur, whatever it is. I was also told I look like something else.
Oh my word. All right,
Oh.
you can raise your hand. Yes, teacher Sam, I'm still listening. We're waiting for Uratile to raise their hand. Uratile got it right first.
Yes, Oratile. Nice. Let's raise your hand. Tell me. I've like now just thought about my whole hair situation. That's like hurt my heart.
Because of your hair. But they are crazy also. It's just
honestly, kids say, I mean, like this matric the other day. Sorry, Oratile, I've now gone on a tangent. This kid the other day, so it's one of my matrics. and they made like a comment about the fact that they were born in, I don't know, 2005 or whatever. And I was like, sure, okay. I was already like in grade 5 then, you know, I was about to start high school. And one of them, quick as anything, turns around, sure, that was like in World War II. And I was like,
Oh my word.
guess who's gonna fail their exams? Honestly, you little nonsense.
It's like, watch out. Watch out. I'm the
Are
boss
you?
here.
Okay. Whew. Ortile,
Yes.
please come and explain for us.
Yeah, Uratile, we are waiting for you. And if Uratile can't get access to us, Vuyokazi, you also feel welcome to raise your hand. We are hearing the stories about grade 8s, guys. I hope you don't do that to your teachers.
Grade
So
8s,
please
just tell me
raise
I'm
hand
old.
and Jamilari Jane. Sorry to pronounce your name incorrectly, but Jane also got it right. So anyone who puts their hands up to explain, the first one will explain to us. Anyone from those ones who
Ortile,
have gotten 51, because Uratile is not
Vuyokazi.
raising their hand up.
Yeah.
She's Stang, you also got it right. So please raise your hand. Where are you guys? Did you forget how to raise hands? People, we're running out of time. So find the reaction button, click on that reaction button, and then voila, your hand is up. So you can explain to us how you got the correct answer. Come on,
Yeah,
my
guys.
people.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 30
I'm
seconds. If
gonna
I don't
choose.
get hands, yeah,
Yeah.
either Yelena's gonna
Means
choose
that
or I'm
you
just gonna do
guys-
it.
Or also, it means that somehow they didn't get the answer in the correct manner. It could be a guesswork. You never
Yeah.
know. Anyone going once? Guys, who's going to rescue you? What's happening with the stars?
Teto, where you at? I know you didn't put an answer, but Teto, come. I'm just picking on you now.
Yeah, where is Teto? Teto, you're the chosen one. Come up, Teto. Okay, Mutebang. Yes, Mutebang. Unmute yourself.
That's okay,
Thank you
Teto.
for rescuing us.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, ma'am. So I was asking myself what makes 28, and I saw 4 apples. So the way how I figured out that it's 7 is that I divided 28 divided by 4,
Good,
which gives 7. So the apples are 7.
good. Well done.
Then I saw the 21 and I realized that 7 times 3 equals to 21.
Nice.
Then I saw that then I saw that it is 3. So there is 3 times 8 minus 7.
Good.
So here I use both math. So I thought of using multiplication, which is 7 times 8, which gives 56.
Good.
Then I use both math again, which I added it to
Sorry,
3,
Mutubang. Just keep going. I'm just losing it, right?
which gives 59.
Okay, so 56 plus 3 is then 59, yeah?
Then I minus it by 8, which gives 51.
Excellent. Well done. Nice, Mutubang. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so guys, and I hope you all heard there, you have to use BODMAS, particularly in the last 2 equations. So we have to do the multiplication first. Remember, addition and subtraction sort of have the same level of importance. So just work left to right exactly like Mutubang did there, and you will get your answer. Very nice. Well done. Okay, so what I want to do is, is we're going to practice these exterior angles of a triangle. So what I want you guys to have a try of is this question 2 here. Now just be careful, okay? because we can see that the 144 is our exterior angle, but in this case, I've been given the exterior angle. What we are looking for is the size of angle X. This isn't hard, but just be very careful about how to set up your equation and how to then solve for X. Okay, so let's give this a try. Remember, on the chat, I want your answer as well as the reason that you used to get that answer. So answer and reason, let's see it on the chat for question 2. Cumber, yes. You're still using the same logic. Just because you now know the exterior angle, the reason doesn't change. And guys, remember, you can check yourself. You know that if you add 78 plus X, you should get 144. So if you aren't 100% sure, take your answer, add it to 78, and make sure you get the 144 degrees. I'm going to give you another minute or so. Okay, guys, let's have a look. So we know that X plus 78 degrees must give us 144 degrees. I know this because it is an exterior angle of my triangle. So just remember, this 144 was found by adding together the two opposite interior angles, so X plus 78. We're now going to solve our equation, so we're going to subtract 78 on both sides, and so X is equal to 66 degrees. So guys, not harder, because we've now got the exterior angle and we almost have to work backwards to what the two interior angles are. Definitely not harder. Just bear it in mind when you set up your equation, because as you can see, your equation looks a little bit different to what it did in question 1. Alrighty, any questions you want to ask? Again, put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand, take your screenshots. Otherwise, we're going to have a look at another example. So if you've got questions, you're more than welcome to raise your hand and ask. Okay. So I want you guys to try question 3 and question 4 for me. Now, guys, what I want you to be very careful of is the fact that in both questions, there are two angles I want a value for. So please, in the chat, when you give me an answer, please say 3x equals whatever, and then your reason. 3y equals whatever your answer and your reason, and then 4x equals whatever reason, 4y equals whatever your reason. So just make sure you number your answers correctly so that we can see what's going on. We can agree, or hopefully we can help you if we see any funny little mistakes going on. But I want you to try question 3 and 4. And I want you to, again, bear in mind that in both of them, you are looking for an X and for a Y. So there's two angles you are needing to find the sizes of here. I don't particularly mind which angle you start with. If you want to start with X, that's cool. If you want to start with Y, that's cool. Whichever one you want, I don't particularly mind. Remember your reasons. And guys, remember, the second we start now, like finding more angles or needing to find multiple angles, we're going to potentially use a couple different reasons. In both of these questions, there's a couple different ways that you can find each X and Y. As long as you have applied your reason correctly, you will get the marks. Oh, excuse me. So just bear that in mind, that when I go through these answers, my reasons might look different to yours, but as long as the answer is still the same, you should be good. I will try and just say what other reasons you could have used in order to get your answer. But just remember that for geometry, just because I've done it one way or your friend's done it one way doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. Remember, guys, you can double check yourself. So double check that, say, for example, all the angles in your triangle add up to 180. Double check that your exterior angles do add up to the opposite interior angles. Okay, it looks like we're heading on to question 4, so that's all right. I'm going to give you another 2 or so minutes. And just remember, guys, these are the types of questions you need to be able to deal with. Ones where you have to solve for multiple angles at the same time. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Okay, guys, let's have a look. If you're not done, just mark as we go along. Obviously, guys, remember you should be marking and checking your answers as I go through them. Okay, now again, there's lots of different ways you can do these 2 questions. I'm going to do it. I'll try and explain to you what some other reasons that you could have used. But, oh, excuse me. but there are a couple different ones. So for question 3, I'm going to start with angle X. Generally, we go alphabetically. You don't have to, but generally we do. So for X, what I see is that it's one of 3 angles inside that blue triangle. And so what that means is I can use interior angles of a triangle. So X plus 40 plus 70 is equal to 180 degrees, or because of sum of angles in triangle. 40 and 70 are like terms, so I'm going to add them together to give me 110 degrees is equal to 180. And now when I subtract 110 on both sides, I get that X is equal to 70 degrees. So here X is 70. I always like to just fill in the angle that I've worked out on my diagram. It might help me later on. I don't know. Right, so when it comes to question or to angle Y, you've got 2 options. Either you can use angles on a straight line with the X that you've just found, and you will get the answer. Because we are practicing exterior angles, I'm going to use that. So Y is an exterior angle to my triangle, which means that if I add 70 and 40, the 2 opposite interior angles, I will get Y. So Y is equal to 70 plus 40. My reason, exterior angle of a triangle. And so Y's value is equal to 110 degrees. Again, you could have used angles on a straight line, absolutely fine. It gives you exactly the same answer. When we get to question 4, again, I'm just going to start with X. Okay, so X, if I'm starting with X, I can't use exterior angles of a triangle because that would be 81 plus Y, and I don't yet know Y. If you worked Y out first, then you could use exterior angles of a triangle. If I'm going to do X first, though, I'm going to have to use angles on a straight line. So I know that X plus 69 degrees must equal 180 degrees, or because of angles on a straight line. Right, once I have that, I can now solve my equation. And so if I now say 180 minus 69, because remember we're doing our inverse operations, I am going to get 111 degrees for X. When it comes to Y, again, you've got options. You can either use sum of angles in a triangle to get Y, or again, because we're practicing exterior angles, I'm going to use that. We now know that this exterior angle is 111 degrees. And to get that, I would have to say 81 plus Y. So Y plus 81 degrees should give me 111 degrees because of exterior angles of a triangle. Again, if you use sum of angles in a triangle, that is fine. Inverse operations tells me to subtract 81 on both sides, and so Y is equal to 30 degrees. Okay, so guys, hopefully you heard and were listening to the fact that there are multiple reasons that we could have used to find these. They're fine. Like, there is no problem with you having a different reason to me. I've chosen to use exterior angles as much as I could because that's the reason we have here, but understand that that often isn't the only way to do it. And so as long as you apply your reasons correctly, you will get the marks. Okay, so let's take our screenshots. If anyone has any questions, now is the time to raise your hand and ask me. It seems like we're all sort of okay, but again, guys, you need to just ask the question. I can guarantee you whatever question you have, 10 other people in the class have exactly the same question. So please do ask. Make sure that any confusions, concerns, queries are sorted. No questions? Hope everyone's taken a screenshot. Okay. All right, so what do I want? No, let's end off with this one. So I want you to try question 5 for me. There it is. You have got 3 minutes left of the lesson. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do it. In the last minute, I'm going to go through it, and then we will be done for our Wednesday lesson. So give question 5 a try. You've got 2 minutes before I go through it. Give it a go. Okay, so guys, just think carefully. Again, there are actually 2 ways to do this question. One is definitely easier than the other, and that is the one that you should be doing because that's the reason that we learned tonight. Hint, hint. Hey, Baba, come, sit down. Here you go.
We can
Got
do
one
it,
more minute?
guys. It's the last one. Yeah. The last one for the week. Y'all did well. Well done.
Very nicely. Okay, guys, I'm giving you 1 more minute and then I'm going to go through it. Finally starting to get some answers, which is great. Okay, guys, that is your 2 minutes. So let's have a look. Firstly, 2x is the exterior angle. It's created between one side of my triangle and an extension of my other side. So exterior angle, awesome. That means that if I add 65 and x minus 5, I must get 2x. So 2x is equal to x minus 5 degrees plus 65 degrees, all because of my exterior angle of triangle. Now I go and solve my equation. Remember, inverse operations, I'm going to bring this x over, so it's going to become 2x minus x is equal to, now minus 5 degrees plus 65 degrees is then 60 degrees. 2x minus x is then just x, and so x is equal to 60 degrees here. Now guys, again, double check yourselves. 2 times 60 gives us 120 degrees. 60 minus 5 degrees gives us 55 degrees. 55 plus 65 gives us that 120 degrees. So we know we've done it correctly because we've gone and double checked ourselves.